Welcome to Talking Tech. I'm your host, Alejandro Hoyos, and I am very excited as today we're here in Malaysia at an Intel's Penang assembly and testing facility in which we're going to learn about the different technologies that involve Meteor Lake.
Right now, we're in the middle of our journey of 5 nodes in 4 years. Right? When Pat came back 2.5 years ago, he put in place this plan for technology leadership catch-up. And that's the 5 nodes in 4 years. So step 1 was Intel 7. Step 2 is Intel 4, and that's where we are today. So if you look at Intel 4, our goals were first area scaling. So if you look at our standard cell library and you compare it to the Intel 7 node, we're able to achieve 50% area scaling, or 2x area scaling, however you want to describe it. That was, the continuation of Bohr's law. Second goal of Intel 4 was power efficiency. Right? We want to deliver a lot of performance, but it needs to be efficient performance. Some of that we get from the scaling, and a lot of that we get from the transistor improvements that we implement as well. And our goal really is to take most advantage of power efficiency. When we drop a gate contact, prior to 10 nanometer, you would never put it on top of a gate. It was always off the gate, and then you'd use the conductivity of the gate metal to get to the transistor. Starting on 10, we dropped it on top of the gate. And that allows that, because we don't have to drop the contact so far away, we can achieve better scaling.
So it's like you're reducing your area, right? Because
yes.
Now you have to put it outside, it's directly on top, so it's less area. So
yeah, exactly. It's, a contact was sitting out here. Here's the gate, contact sitting out here, and then I can drop it right on top of it. So then I can, I chop the cell at the edge now. We also were able to pitch scale both the fins and the gates. EUV lithography was a big part of that. EUV lithography really allowed us to reduce some of the complexity that had grown over the years because we didn't have lithography capability of the resolution that we needed. We've been able to reduce complexity, and reducing complexity allowed us to achieve better yields. It's allowing us to run the fab faster. The metal stack is 18 metal layers. Now we have a 0 metal layer, then we have metal 1 through 15, and then we have these giant metal distribution layers up the top. So it's 18 tall. You're also challenged by electromigration, right? Electromigration is when you're putting, voltage or power on a wire. Sometimes that metal wants to move. And metal moving is not a good thing. Right? No. We developed what we called enhanced copper.
By implementing this new type of wire connection, you have also reduced the RC or the impedance on it, so making it.
Yes. Resistivity on those lower metal layers. If you compare resistivity or the conductivity improvements that we have in metal 0, metal 1 compared to Intel 7, it's a significant improvement. 5 nodes in 4 years. So Intel 4 is step number 2, and we're in production today. Step number 3 is Intel 3, and Intel 3 will build upon Intel 4. It'll offer denser libraries for scaling. It'll provide additional performance opportunities. Intel 3 is a node that we will use for a very long time for both internal and Intel Foundry products. So it's pretty exciting. Yeah, step 2 done, 3 to go.
Foveros is what we call 3D advanced packaging. And by 3D, it means we're stacking die on top of, or silicon on top of other pieces of silicon. I think one thing that Foveros is kind of a first versus the like some of the other 3D packaging in the industry, is that we do have the capability to stack 2 active die on top of each other. And we can also stack a active die on top of what we call a passive die. On Meteor Lake, for example, we have multiple top die, and we put them on a single base die. And that base die serves mainly to interconnect all of those die. So we could take all the die, instead of building them on one large die, we break them into smaller functions, and then we connect them with packaging. Traditionally, we do what we call organic flip chip packaging, where we take a monolithic die and put it on a substrate, and then on like Raptor Lake and Alder Lake, going all the way back to Haswell, we put the the platform controller hub or PCH on the package, and we connected those together with what we call on-package I/O. And for example, those connections between the die and substrate are like 100 microns apart. We call the pitch, right? When we go to Foveros, those connections between the die and the wafer, they're at 36 microns. Since we're talking in area, it's about an 8x increase in the amount of interconnects that we can get per millimeter. So you need that amount of signaling between the two die. Also, Foveros, it gives the characteristics in the base die. It allows those signals to be carried at very high bandwidth and very low power, and as we said earlier, very low latency. So with the technology, you get the electrical characteristics you want, and that allows you to then partition into many different tiles.
So Foveros, if I understood correctly, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is we have this base wafer in which we have other tiles that come on top of it. So can you tell us a little bit more about that and how is it assembled?
Sure, that's exactly right. We actually start with them, all of them in wafer form. We have a base wafer, and then we have all the top tiles come to us in wafers. Some from internal, like our compute die on Intel 4, and then the other die that come from us from external foundry. We bring them in. All the top die we take through what we call die prep or singulation. So we'll cut up the die, singulate the die, and then we'll send them to sort.
My role as a factory manager, I take care of the entire factory operation, managing all the operation indicator to ensure operation excellent. At the same time, to ensure that we're meeting the cost target, as well as ensure all new product introduction and release on time. For Meteor Lake, we have the unique tooling in assembly and unique product tooling that is needed to develop partnering with TD to make sure that this run well for Meteor Lake product alone. Yeah. So the challenges is really how do we develop the latest tooling that enable Meteor Lake, at the same time ramp up fast and start up fast to make sure that we meet the due date and the committed timeline. Penang assembly task is the backend processes to assemble the die into the packages, as well as to test the unit before finally shipped to customer.
We actually improve what we call known good die. So you get something like a 3 to 4% improvement in known good die going into the package. So if you think about that, when you're putting 3 or 4 die together in a package, if you know that, say for example, they're 99% known good die because you tested them so well versus 95% known good die on wafer sort, which is still really good, but you just didn't have the same coverage, that multiplies out, and by the time you get to final class test, there's a 10% yield difference. After we sort them or singulated die test them, that's where we move to kind of the first step of the Foveros operations. This is what we call wafer assembly. This was, the major new capability that we had to put in. Obviously, we have to have tools and equipment to take and processes to take the top die and to stack them to the bottom die. So we do that. The bottom die or the base die is in wafer form when we do that. And the wafer assembly flow, it's kind of unique that it's a combination of both what we call like classic assembly processes and classic fab processes.
So particularly for Meteor Lake is a Foveros product. So where DMO, which is called Advanced Packaging Fab, will be doing the wafer level assembly in terms of connecting, kind of attach 4 dies on top of the base die. So for ATM, we will receive the Foveros die, and we will do assembly, which is die attach or chip attach the Foveros die on the substrate and the packages.
We stack all the die onto the wafer, and then take it through the flow. We then singulate or chop up that particular die into what we call the die stacks or the Foveros stacks. After that, kind of circling back to that singulated die test, we do have the option to test them again. Since we are able to test at the die level, we are able to test at the die stack level. And I think this is a big advantage. Sometimes there is a cost for adding a test step, so we have to use it judiciously. On Meteor Lake, we've been using it through development and sampling to make sure we have a healthy process. And then we'll evaluate how we use it in HVM or in high volume manufacturing, but it's still good as a quality monitor, making sure that the line is running well before we send the die to package assembly.
Once we do the attach, we'll go through all the assembly process step, whether it's epoxy, as well as the stiffener attach. Then we will go to test for completing test before going through the finish operation to do a visual check and marking and before ship to customer.
I think the one thing about test, not necessarily just for Foveros, but again, we have world-class back-end test capabilities. All of our test platforms have been developed in-house over the past decade or longer. We can do this in a very manufacturable way where we're not adding a lot of test cost and test time, but still able to achieve that world-class DPM. And from there, pack it and ship it. So, and that's what we're doing now. I mean, Meteor Lake, we finished all the qual samples. They are out the door this summer. Production materials in the line. The line's running pretty healthy. We're at our yield targets. Reliability, manufacturability targets. We're there or really, really close. So yeah, we're ready.
We are very proud to be part of this journey, to be able to enable the Meteor Lake Foveros packages and Intel 4 node, right? So that is, we are super proud and to be able to be part of this journey.
As you can see, Meteor Lake from an architecture point of view and also from a product point of view has a lot to offer. From new AI, new graphics, new process technology, a completely new type of architecture when we go from monolithic to disaggregated brings a lot of new features. Thank you for watching with us and please stay tuned for more videos that will be coming your way.